Welcome students. Myself Mr. Ahirrao VA from the Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering, मराठा विद्या प्रसारक समाजास कर्मवीर ॲडव्होकेट बाबूराव गणपतराव ठाकरे College of Engineering, Nasik. We are going to learn about calibration, the methods of calibration, calibration report and certification. Objective: to learn the concept of calibration. Outcome will be students will be able to understand the importance of calibration in the measurements. Calibration. Whenever we are using the different instruments, the measurements carried out by them, we are trusting on these measurements. Now, have you thought why we are trusting on these measurements? The answer is these instruments are the calibrated one. First of all, we will go for what is the need of calibration. An instrument only conforms to the stated static and dynamic patterns of behavior after it has been calibrated. But during the use, its behavior will be gradually diverged from the stated specifications. The reasons may include mechanical wear and the effects of dirt, dust, fumes, and other chemicals which may be present in the operating environment. When in use, the characteristics of the instrument will have drifted from the standard specification by an unacceptable amount. When this situation is reached, it is necessary to recalibrate the instrument to the standard specifications. It means whenever we are getting the measurements which may be crossing the acceptable limits or allowable limits, then that instrument should be calibrated. Before going to the definitions of calibration, we will go for a very short term, that is uncertainty. While accuracy indicates how close is the measured value to the true value, uncertainty indicates the quantum of deviation of the measured value from the true value. Now, calibration is nothing but the comparison of two measuring instruments, one with known uncertainty and other with the unknown uncertainty. In modern days, calibration is defined as a set of operations which establish under specified conditions the relationship between the values indicated by a measuring instrument and the corresponding values realized by a standard instrument. Here, a standard instrument is used for that instrument which is having a high accuracy, precision, resolution as well as stability as compared to the instrument under calibration. Now we will go for the methods of calibration. Calibration methods are broadly direct calibration and indirect calibration. First, the direct calibration. In the direct calibration method, we will use a standard source whose uncertainty, accuracy, errors present are known to us, and that standard source is used to calibrate the instrument or a unit under calibration. For example, if we want to calibrate a DC voltmeter, to calibrate a DC voltmeter, we may use a standard DC power supply as a source whose accuracy, precision, as well as the uncertainty is known to us, and that will supply a standard inputs in terms of the voltages to the DC voltmeter, and then we can calibrate that meter against the standard source. The second method is indirect calibration. In this one, there will be a source of signal which is not a standard source. So we will use in this one another standard instrument along with the unit under calibration, that is UUC. When we will give the input from the source of signal, the standard instrument having higher accuracy and precision will be compared with the measurement done by the unit under calibration. So these two measurements will be compared, and in this way the calibration will be carried out. For example, if we want to calibrate a pressure gauge, then we may have the pneumatic supply, that is the air supply, as a source of signal that will be simultaneously fed to the unit under calibration and a standard pressure gauge. Then actually the reading shown by a standard pressure gauge and the unit under calibration will be compared. A calibration report. As the name report, so it is a detailed document. It is not compulsory for a calibration laboratory whether to issue a report or certificate, but depending upon the requirement from the customer or the user, the calibration laboratory may issue a calibration report or a calibration certificate. The calibration report consists of mainly 5 different parts. Part 1 consists of the general information. Part 2, description of measurement process. Part 3, report of measurement results. Part 4, test conditions, and in part 5, presenting the data. Under part 1, that is the general information, it consists of identification and address of the calibration laboratory, title of the report, calibration item identification, requester of service, that means who is the customer who wants to calibrate the instrument, date of receipt of the sample or the instrument, the actual date of calibration. The calibration is valid up to a certain time period. That's why under general information, the lab must provide the next date of calibration or due date of calibration. The report will carry a unique number. Signature of authorized person with identification. Part 2, that is the description of measurement process. It consists of which are the different standards used, the accuracy of those standards, and traceability information. Description of method of measurement and what different measurements they have carried out. Number of measurements made and how they are going to analyze the data. It also consists of the definitions of different acronyms used. For example, if they are using UUC, UUC stands for Unit Under Calibration. The third part will give the report of measurement results. It will consist of what are the true values, what are the indicated values by the instruments, what are the different errors those are being calculated, and errors allowable. They should mention the measurement uncertainties. Also, the various factors that may affect the measurement are mentioned under part 3. Part 4 will describe the different test conditions. That is, the laboratory's environmental conditions maintained throughout the calibration, like temperature, pressure, and humidity. Here, we will consider the example of the micrometer screw gauge or a vernier caliper. If we want to measure the diameter of certain object, that is a metallic object, then the temperature must be maintained at 20 degrees Celsius, because below 20 degrees Celsius and above 20 degrees Celsius, the dimensions here, the diameter of that object may change. Hence, the test conditions under calibration or those maintained throughout the calibration process are being specified under part 4. Abnormal conditions observed like instability, erratic readings, wear and tear, physical damage of the instrument if observed, adjustments or repairs done, etc. Part 5 will consist of the presentation of the data. The units of measurement shall be stated along with the associated measured values. Errors may be expressed in the form of measured values or uncertainties. This part may use the tables, charts, or graphs to make the report presentable. In the last part, we will go for the calibration certificate. A calibration certificate is a single page document. It will have the different parameters mentioned, or the contents are identification and address of the calibration laboratory, title of the report, calibration item identification, requester or customer of the service, date of calibration, due date of calibration, unique certificate number, signature of authorized person with identification, and the traceability. Also, in short, they may mention the different test conditions. So these are the contents of a calibration certificate. For The concept of calibration, you may refer the book by R. Subburaj. The name of the book is The Foundation for ISO 9000 and TQM. Thank you.